Hi, I'm Ross Benjamin of Sportsbook Review, and I'm back for another season of my college football underdog picks of the week. This is edition one for 2016, so let's get off to a good start. I have three picks in store, and all of these games go on Saturday, September 3rd. Let's begin with the one between Western Michigan and Northwestern, game that will be played at Northwestern, noon Eastern Time, start on Saturday. PJ Fleck has done a terrific job as head coach at Western Michigan since taking over. He's coming off back-to-back 8-5 seasons with the Broncos, and he returns 13 starters. Western Michigan has faced five Big Ten opponents since Fleck has arrived as head coach at Western Michigan, and they've gone a very good 4-1 ATS during those contests. Well, Northwestern is coming off a 10-3 season, not too shabby, especially when they're playing a Big Ten schedule. And Pat Fitzgerald's just done a terrific job at at Northwestern in his first 10 years there. However, one side note here: the last two times Northwestern has had a winning season under Fitzgerald, they followed that up with 5-7 and 6-6 years. So there's a little bit of lack of consistency when it comes to Northwestern in recent years. And also Fitzgerald at Northwestern has faced six MAC opponents in his first 10 years there and has gone a dismal 0-6 against the spread in those situations. I'm going to go with Western Michigan in this spot, +5 over Northwestern, and you can find that line at 5 dimes. Next game pits number 2 nationally ranked Clemson traveling to Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn, Alabama to take on the Tigers. And Clemson, there's no two ways about it. This is going to be one of the most dynamic, if not the most dynamic, offensive team and high-scoring team anywhere you'll find in the nation. However, they returned just 4 defensive starters, and there's a concern there. They did lose 7 starters. Obviously, you could do the math, but the majority of those 7 starters they lost will be making a living in the NFL on Sundays this year. So that's a tough task to replace and replenish that kind of quality talent. So we'll see what happens, but I think they're going to be a bit susceptible, defensively, at least early on in the year. Now, we spoke about going to Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn. Auburn has gone a perfect 29-0 in their last 29 non-conference home games, and they're coming off an underachieving 7-6 season last year, and there's a lot of whispers of head coach Gus Malzahn being on the proverbial hot seat. And remember, this is the same Gus Malzahn who led Auburn to the national championship game in 2014, where they fell to Florida State. He didn't become a bad coach overnight, and I think with better than a touchdown underdog the way of Auburn, that's the way I'm going to go. I'm going to take the Auburn Tigers here, plus the 8 over Clemson, and you can find that line right now at Bovada. My next game, UCLA travels to College Station, Kyle Field, to take on Texas A&M. And Josh Rosen, the sophomore quarterback for UCLA, returns after just a terrific true freshman year last year. He'll be once again one of the more prolific passers in the nation. He does lose the majority of his offensive skill position players, but you know what? The head coach Jim Mora, since arriving at UCLA, has brought in some stellar recruiting classes that's ranked top 10 in the nation on several occasions. And it's 37-16 straight up under Mora, by the way, in his first 3 years at UCLA. And they'll be facing a Texas A&M team that's gone just 6-5 at home in their last 11 in College Station. And you know what? Mora has made his reputation and worked his way up the ladder as an NFL and college football coach by being a defensive guru. And by the way, UCLA returns 9 players on the defensive side of the ball this year. So that bodes well for the Bruins, and it also bodes well for them, in my opinion, as an underdog of better than a field goal in this spot. I'm going to take UCLA plus 3.5 at Texas A&M. Be sure to shop that line because there are some threes out there, but you can find this 3.5 specifically at Bet Online. Repeating again, I'm going to take the Western Michigan Broncos plus 5 over the Northwestern Wildcats, the Auburn Tigers plus 8 over the Clemson Tigers, and also the UCLA Bruins plus 3.5 over the Texas A&M Aggies.
So we're giving you picks every day, and you're probably making your own as well. Be sure to participate in SBR's weekly Twitter Bankroll Challenge. Just post your picks on Twitter with @SBRSportsPicks and the hashtag BetSBR before 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day, Monday through Friday. We'll be betting your picks, and if the bankroll is positive at the end of the week, you could win the profits. Picks must be of events taking place that day and available in at least one of the major sportsbooks shown in our Best Sportsbooks page.